Spectruminal.
Trinity.
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 Spectruminal.
This is a good opening.
Yes, it is.
You want to do it one more time?
Spectruminal.
Trinity.
Welcome to the Spectruminal Trinity.
That's our name. The Spectruminal Trinity. Oh yeah, we can take the hoods off.
Yeah, it's poured.
Ah.
Oh yeah, and today's tea is Earl Grey.
Whoa. We're getting ahead of ourselves. We have to introduce ourselves as the hosts. You are...
She's new.
Might want to hold the mic up closer.
Do I just say my name?
You do whatever you... This is our podcast. How do you want to do it?
The Tea Meister, apparently.
The Tea
Okay, you're the
Miser.
Tea Miser.
The Tea Miser?
Is it Tea Miser or Tea Meister?
I was doing research of the word miser, and it's miser, not meister, I don't think.
What's the difference?
Well, I don't
Probably
know
just
what...
American pronunciation.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's just a pronunciation.
Some Chun-Li shit.
Because meister is just spelled mister, or that's how I spelled it, I don't know.
Oh.
So, I just say
spelled
miser.
Meister as Meister.
Dude, I'm so bad at English.
Hold the mic in front of your mouth. Hold the mic in front of your mouth at all
It's
times.
it's right there.
You were looking towards him and talking.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
It moves as one.
Yeah, you have to.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, it's fucking animatronic over here.
Welcome to this new world. All right. So
All right.
hello. Welcome to the
Spectruminal
the Spectruminal Trinity podcast.
podcast.
I am Gavin Aldridge.
I'm Kyan. You'll find my last name, I'm sure.
And you are?
I'm Haley, the Tea Miser.
The Tea Miser.
The Tea
The
Miser.
Tea Miser.
And we come to you as a cult. A cult that you will hopefully join with us and be with us for many months, years.
All are welcome.
Well, maybe not all.
Any and all ages.
We don't want them.
You're right. We don't want them.
We're talking about women.
I'm right here.
No. They don't need to know about that.
I was not talking about women.
So, how should we start? We should probably talk about the conception of the podcast and why this exists.
You think so?
I think it's a good idea to get into why we're doing this and why we're wearing robes. It's kind of a... Oh, wait. But first, we didn't even sip the tea.
No,
Yeah,
we
well,
didn't.
it's kind of hot right now. You might want to give it a few.
Okay, we can do that. So should I be the one to lead this?
Well, yeah.
I
Because
feel like
you have the most plan here.
Yeah, so basically, the idea of this podcast basically started because I was at a friend's fire of mine with these two other chaps right in front of me, and eventually me and Haley just got talking about your tea obsession.
Yeah.
And you were really nerding out like I've never seen you nerd out before in your life.
Yeah, to quote you, that was the first time you've seen me actually happy.
Right? I said that?
Yes.
I think I heard you say that.
But it was just so cool because I'm definitely someone who gets passionate about other people's passions when they get passionate about them.
I love it too, dude.
It's totally what draws me towards anything is when people nerd out about
That's
what they
the
love.
best way to connect with somebody.
Right?
So much.
Ask them about their special interest.
And eventually, like, after Haley was just, like, done with her tea rant, she'd, like, rant. I shouldn't say it like that. That makes it sound
No,
bad.
it was a rant. It was endless.
But she was just like, yeah, I always want to do like tea parties with my friends, but it sounds like the most autistic thing in the world, so I just, it never happens. But then I was like, well, I want to do it because, again, I've never seen you this happy before, so I was just like, let's start a podcast and do it because me and Kyan have had a previous podcast. Wait, we're recording.
I didn't know if we were gonna, like...
No, we can plug it.
Yeah, you know, if you found wait recording first somehow, you're fucking awesome.
You're a real one.
You're so cool.
There have been production issues with that podcast.
Yes.
And it's been sad because I've always really enjoyed filming it. And I've wanted to get back into the swing of filming a podcast again. And I was like, well, this sounds like a great way to do it.
Oh, it was really, yeah. No, I really enjoyed recording at some points, and we were just flew too close to the sun.
What does that mean?
It was going good, and then
we started a cult.
now we're here.
Then we started this.
Yeah,
And this consumed our lives.
yeah. You should join.
They already have. They just don't know it yet.
I just like
Then
sharing
welcome.
my teas.
Okay, don't say that. We have to get money out of these people.
I can make tea. They can buy my tea.
Oh, that's
This is something I thought about when I was coming here. Is
How to
we can
merchandise.
we can have a tea like company.
Can I make teapots?
Oh my god.
One of our teapots can have like what you're recording on the bottom of it. It's a little Easter egg for episode 1 viewers.
No, you have it underneath the lid, so when you pull it up, it's right there.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Okay. And so this podcast has been in the talks for like maybe 2 months now, probably.
Yeah, probably just about, no? Like,
And it's just
Excuse me.
slowly evolved, and
You're
we've just been well, at first it was just I want to dress up in cult robes and
drink
talk
tea.
and drink tea.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's grown into something more because we each have something that we bring to this table right here
It's
to
a
talk
wonderful
about.
table.
And we'll get into what we talk about as the show progresses. But the first thing and how I think we should open the show is Haley talking about her tea.
Because that's what's brought us here.
I love tea.
Why do you love tea?
Dude, there's so many flavors. So many flavors.
Is that
But
is that the
today's-
only reason?
Well,
Because there's a lot of flavors of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like there's a
yeah,
lot of
but
flavors
I
of,
like
candy.
I'm a drinker. Like
Oh.
like I don't eat foods, I
No, I get it.
drink.
Why do you like to drink?
I don't know, it just takes
Takes
less
the pain
effort.
away.
Takes less effort.
See, I'm very much not a drinker though. Like I just drink too fast. Like I'm not like a sipper.
Oh, I'm not a sipper.
I just like.
No, like I chug. I'm not a sipper.
Okay. I'm glad.
Well, it depends with what.
Not for me. I hate hot drinks because of it.
You'll chug like Gatorade and Mucinex the same.
You like chugged that tea latte I made you guys.
Cause I'm
oh
a drinker,
my god.
not a drinker.
You see,
I know,
this is
but
what you guys
it
can
didn't
have.
it didn't like seem to slow you down any.
No,
That tea latte was fucking delicious.
but also like I burn my mouth so many times that it doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, I had to avoid using this tea for the tea latte so you didn't get any flavor of what this was.
I appreciate that.
I really appreciate you thinking.
Yeah, thanks.
Cuz I was like, "Mother."
Cause that's the whole thing. Like, you got to bring us a new. I like to be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's
We
why
should,
I, like,
we should also explain that there will be a new tea every episode until we run out of teas, which will probably happen.
No, there's two.
Never?
You just hear there's infinite flavors, Gavin.
Yeah.
I don't
You
necessarily.
can combine
believe
so
that.
many different herbs to get so many different flavors.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
This is
excited. I'm
this is
excited.
borderline herbology.
that is spectacular. That is fantastic, actually.
Herbology.
Herbology.
Yeah, I just love the idea of it. Like, I wanted to get into it for a second, but
Well, are we about to get into
it's
it?
intimidating.
I mean, probably deeper into the podcast. Right now, we're just sipping the drink.
Well, what are your notes about the tea?
Okay.
Well, how about we find out?
Yeah, how are you going to structure your tea conversation?
Well, today's tea is Earl Grey.
Okay.
And I chose this tea today because it was one of the first teas that really got me into drinking tea.
I love this. I love that you brought it back to its roots.
Oh, yeah. But,
Why did it get you into drinking tea?
because it was a unique flavor for the first time ever, because, like, before, like, I got, like, a taste of this, it's always just been, like, Lipton tea bags.
Oh, yeah. No, that is a very big step to like actual tea. Mm-hmm. Well, not to like shit on Lipton.
I'm shitting on Lipton. Fuck them.
Well, I have nothing to base it on until.
We can admit
No.
it. She popped her cherry. It's okay.
But, I gotta start, like, the whole debate of, like, tea bags versus loose leaf tea.
Oh, this is
Because-
how we open it.
Sure.
Oh,
shit.
okay.
Listen to
Here we
me.
go.
All right.
Tea bags are trash. Okay?
Why is that?
Because tea bags aren't actual tea leaves. They're the tea leaves that are ground up into tiny powder that's finite and just leaks through the bag, and it's gross and doesn't have the right flavor. It's always bitter. Tea leaves are just the whole leaf that you were able to express the whole flavor out of through the heat of the water, so you get the full-bodied flavor of it.
This is
I
incredible.
really hope that at some point, somebody argues that point. They're just like, but what you see with tea bags, and they give.
You can't
some,
even
like,
reuse tea bags. They're not reusable. They're shit for the environment.
Oh boy, here we go. I love this.
You're a little close to the mic.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was thinking the same thing.
When you're getting passionate, like, just think, like, maybe zoom it out.
Yeah.
But they're shit.
We're sorry for the road bumps, viewers. There's gonna be probably a lot of them.
A lot of them.
Like, I might have been moving out of frame, like, for a couple of times. I've been thinking about it.
Oh, I haven't even. I definitely gestured out of frame, but, like, I don't think that's that bad.
But this was my first ever tea. And fun fact, my father hates this tea because he hates bergamot, which is the main flavoring in this tea. He thinks it tastes like soap.
Oh, are we gonna go through the flavors?
Oh, yeah.
I'm so excited to learn all about this.
What is bergamot?
Bergamot is actually a type of orange. It comes from an orange tree. That's where the flavoring for this comes because they express the oils from the rind.
Okay. This is a lot to take in.
I was gonna say, I don't think you were ready for how bad she was about to nerd out.
This is going-
I love it.
I know, I love it too. Because, again, like, I want to learn all this stuff. Like, I am interested. It's just, like, it's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to take
But there'll be
baby
some
steps.
tea nerds who really appreciate it.
But yeah, bergamot is... It's a genus of these. It's a little family of these, but it's like a thicker rind and it's more like of a tart flavor. So it pairs well with the tea that's like black tea because it has a nice robust base to it.
Robust base.
Yes.
What kind of vocabulary is being used here? I didn't think this...
Can you define a base of a tea?
It depends on, like, there's black tea, there's red teas, and then there's green teas.
Okay.
They all have different temperatures for brewing, fun fact.
But those are also... So that's... Those are what determine the base. Those are the base.
Yes.
And then
Well,
you
those
add...
are, like, kind of... It's like there's two different bases, because, like, there's the base of the actual tea, and there's, like, the base of the notes in the tea.
Okay.
Alright.
I say we introduce vocabulary a little slower.
Okay.
We'll
For the-
start with the different types of teas.
Okay.
Green, black, red, and there's probably some yellow teas out there, too.
What?
Well, actually,
There's
they're
different-
white teas, not yellow teas.
There's different types of colors of tea?
Yes.
This means something?
Yes.
Yeah, they're the base.
All right,
That's what we were just... That's why I said to slow
This
it
is
down.
episode 1. Alright, what
Yeah.
are the bases of tea?
Black tea is what is in front of us. It's typically what is used for breakfast teas.
Should we try this before it cools down too much?
Yeah, should
I
we?
mean, yeah.
All right. Sorry to interrupt. I was just thinking.
No, it's a good idea. I like that. I like that a lot.
I get the soap.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
a
the
strong
soap kicks
flavor.
in.
That's why you pair it with the blackberries, the grapefruit, citrus flavors.
That sure is interesting.
It's not bad.
Hold on.
I understand the soap thing. It does have a dove taste to it.
Yeah. Before that kicks in, I do admit I do enjoy it.
Right?
But then it's like that kills it.
But is that the sensation of just warm water hitting your mouth that makes it feel good?
No, because there's like
What's the flavor?
There's
there's a flavor. That's the flavor that's like before the soap, or it's like I don't even know how to explain it. And then it's just soap for me. And like I'm talking like that dollar store soap that you buy in like bulk.
In bulk?
Yeah.
You don't just get one. You have to
No, I mean like it's just a big container that
Oh,
you fill
okay.
other soap containers with.
Okay. Yeah, this is End Times soap right here. But continue, please.
But
Yeah, tell us about these bases.
black teas are typically used for breakfast teas. So, like, you know, enjoying within the morning. There are black teas that are used for afternoon as well. But they are commonly found in Britain because they're really big on their caffeinated teas.
Is that why they like it so much? Is that like their coffee?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know they incorporated caffeine with theirs.
Well, yeah, that's
That
what...
makes a lot more sense.
A lot of tea's caffeinated, no?
There's a few that aren't like chamomile because it's just a flower, but that was considered a white tea. Sorry.
I know, it takes time. It takes time.
But this lovely little lady right here is their whole Earl Grey part of it stems from the person who was gifted this tea, I say gifted because we don't really know the whole history behind the tea.
History.
The history.
Are you gonna get into that?
Yeah, it's
Oh
right
my
here in my
God.
notes. But
this is exciting.
This is what I was asking about before this. I was like, what are you... And this excites me, too. Also, the chocolate completely kills the soap taste.
yeah, that's why I brought it.
And delicious. Go on.
But the name Earl Grey stems from Charles II Earl Grey, which was a British prime minister during the early 1830s.
The early 1830s.
Yes.
1830s.
Is it bad that I thought about how much this guy fuck? That was my first question. I was like, I wonder how much he fucks.
In the 1830s?
Well,
He got a tea name.
hold
after him.
on. There's another tea called Lady Grey, which he used, which is a type. It's a variation of the Earl Grey tea that he used to entertain his lady guest in the afternoon.
Entertain.
Entertain.
What do you mean entertain?
You know what she means by entertain.
Oh, he was the first Cosby. I see.
I mean, probably.
Well, entertaining during that time period would be like tea parties.
Sipping tea.
Yeah.
Jesus, do you think about that? I think about that so
Dude, I would be so
much.
happy.
No, well, okay. This is gonna get into a little bit of tangent here. By the way, folks, we have somewhat of a structure. If you're similar to
I'm sure they're not concerned.
familiar with the way we're recording, you know that show was not structured in the slightest. And we have somewhat of a structure here, but know that tangents will happen because I'm about to get into one right now. Isn't it fascinating to think about what like kids were entertained by back then?
Oh God.
And I bring this up because I was listening to a podcast called the Trinitea podcast that I bring up on my recording also, and they were talking about Ed Gein, and they eventually just got to the point where they were telling a story about how Ed Gein was babysitting some kids, and this kid was just like, to pass the time, just punching holes into paper. Like, that's all he was doing. And then he punched so many holes into so much paper that he was like, Ed, do you have any more paper I can punch holes into? And then he was like, yeah, go over there to get some. And he found a head. But that's not the important part. It's more so, like, what kind of world was it like for, like, a kid back then to just be like, no, I'm just going to punch holes in the paper because that's what entertainment is.
Well,
A simple one.
Part of me thinks that, like, you could still get that out of a kid now. Like, I mean...
It's true.
I mean, where we're at, like, it's a very fortunate area.
Dude, I ate dog food as a kid.
We're going to get to that. Hold on.
But what I'm saying is, like, there are kids that, like... I mean...
Is this what, like, the Amish do?
Maybe?
What did they...
No, they probably can't use a hole punch. That's modern.
No, there's an Amish girl that stays strapped with a fucking gun on her hip.
No, that's not... I saw that. That's not a real Amish girl. She has a phone.
Yeah, that's not...
I know, but
that was what
they
you-
still stay strapped. They gotta kill animals.
Well, but that's
With
like
modern
that's
weaponry?
like a Glock. They should have like
Like,
muskets
I was gonna say, the most they can have is, like, a musket. Or they can go back to bow and arrow.
or sword, axe. Axe would work with them, I think.
I would love to see 3 Amishmen take on a fucking moose.
I wanted to bring up moose. Okay, we're gonna get into this. Where were we before? Just so I don't forget.
I was on the history of tea.
History of tea, kids punching holes. Okay, moose. Dude, I saw this video. I think I sent it to you of 2 moose like flanking a bear.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Like one came out behind. It was like a bear was running, and then a moose like came out behind a shed, and was just like sprinting towards it, and the bear was fucking terrified.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Megafauna, dude.
but it's just like megafauna. Do you think that's some like that's one of the last megafauna that
No, it is.
existing on our world?
100%.
Well, it blew my mind because it was just like to me, like I've ingrained it in my like natural human brain DNA from watching just like Joe Rogan talk about it to just be like, stay the fuck away from bears. Like bears are just the #1 tops. Like you don't want to fuck with those things.
I love bears.
I know you do, and it bothers me because of this. Maybe.
Yeah, it bothers me.
I love bears too, but it's just like I feel like when you see a bear, you're like, I want to hug that thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of want to also, but I know if I do, it'll kill me.
No, I'll still try it.
But so seeing like this
Cocaine bear was chill.
who seeing this moose who like it didn't look intimidating to me like initially because it didn't have big ass horns, so that was just like my stupid caveman brain just being
The
like,
big-
it doesn't have horns, why is it scary? And then
Yeah.
but like you see this moose running really fucking fast, catching up to this bear, and the bear is shitting its
Dude,
fucking
they're
pants.
huge.
The bear's reacting how I would react if I saw a bear. But then, as it's running away, the bear...
that took a second. Go on.
The bear, like, runs away and then stops. He, like, tries to slow himself down and runs the other way towards the other moose because another moose is coming towards him. Like, just fucking bolting towards him. And there was, like, a description. It was on Instagram. I was, like, post that was just describing, like, how in certain cultures, mooses are just, like... Or not in certain cultures in nature, they're like the top fucking dog. Even bears don't fuck with these things. And when you look at it next to a fucking bear, it is fucking huge.
They're huge next to humans, dude.
Exactly. But then the description was reading about how like it was just so interesting how in certain cultures they're a symbol of like bravery and strength, the moose is. And I was just thinking how that's fascinating. I was just like,
well, yeah, because dude, listen. If I was the last remaining megafauna on this earth, and I was chilling anywhere, if I wasn't respected as a moose,
but the bear could definitely take the moose, right?
not both of them. Definitely not both
Not
of them.
both.
Maybe the one. Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know how they stack up in size.
It's so ferocious.
But it's a moose.
I guess I wish
you can scare a bear off by going.
Moose are very territorial.
And that's basically just a moose thing.
Yeah, but they were.
Dude, if that moose had antlers, it'd fuck up that bear.
Heartbeat.
But how does a moose fight?
Antlers.
But
Also,
this
it
one
probably
didn't have
stomps.
antlers. This one didn't have.
Yeah, stomps, kicks, like a horse.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially
I
a
want to
horse.
see something get hit by a moose.
Honestly. me too.
Cars.
Well, there's that one video of the moose
Well,
getting
no,
hit by a
they
car.
they
hated that,
advise
'cause,
you
like-
to go into a ditch if a moose is in the road. Like, they don't want you to hit that thing. They don't want you to swerve.
I
They
don't
want you
wanna
to
hit
get
it
out of the
either.
way.
Won't never swear for an animal.
I know, but they want you to, like, they want you to, like, move. They want you
Yeah,
out.
they don't want you in the path of the
That's
moose.
why they got these big fucking egos. Is because these fucking cars are moving after them.
No.
And we saw how that car fucking flew
Okay,
that
but
moose.
this is a chicken and the egg thing. I think that their cars are moving out of the way because they know they can't take a moose.
But it can. It killed that thing.
That one.
It soared off like Team Rocket, dude.
I don't know,
That was
man.
probably a teen moose.
Okay. Even still, even if it didn't go flying, it would still be fucked.
Team Rocket.
It did. You saw it.
I did see
can't
it.
show it on here.
I was really upset that the moose went flying. I'm not gonna lie.
It was upsetting, but it was fascinating at the same time because I've never seen a moose do shit like that.
Well, and that's why I was
I say
upsetting
do
me.
shit like that like it's a Tony Hawk move. Like,
Like he just kickflipped the fucking car.
exactly. Yeah. No. It died. But it was just fascinating to see like this giant ass thing fly like a rag doll.
And I think it's crazy that that's what you find entertaining compared
It's
to.
not entertaining.
No,
It's
you
eye-opening.
watch the hell out of these videos. You had to find them entertaining.
But it's
somewhat.
because it's fascinating. It's not like I'm getting like my dick hard because of this stuff. It's because it's like.
Do you
whoa.
when you're playing video games?
What do you mean?
Well, you're passing the time. This is entertainment. Do you want this? This is terrible.
I love grapefruit, sure.
Okay, so it's the idea of how you're entertaining yourself, how you're passing the time.
Yeah.
When you're playing video games, you're passing the time, you're entertaining yourself. When you're watching movies, when you're creating,
Yeah.
when you're watching these videos, you're entertaining yourself.
You're right. It's somewhat entertaining.
It's eye-opening, but that's what makes it captivating, and as such is how you're entertaining.
That's true. Like there is that video of that man's head getting crushed.
That's wild. I still can't believe you watch those videos actively.
I don't watch them
Meanwhile, some
actively.
kid with a hole punch is discovering a head
Right?
in Gein's living
He
room.
didn't even think anything of the head. He was just like.
What do you mean?
I think
He was a
just
little
thought they were
autistic
fake.
kid that wanted paper, man.
No, okay, that might be part of it, but it was. I think he was just like, oh, that's probably just decoration. I don't think he thought it was an actual head until like he found out later in his adult life that like Ed Gein was a serial killer, and then he was in
And
his
he's
house.
like, oh,
That was a real head. That type of shit.
that'd be so eye-opening too.
But also like, Ed Gein's house was fucking trashed except for that one room.
Do we have the time to get into Ed Gein right now?
Probably not.
I know.
How long have we been running?
I couldn't.
I can't see it. I think it says 20. Not that.
I don't have
worry
my
about it.
Okay,
glasses.
I was thinking that's at 30-something.
Okay. Where were hole
History of
punchers?
tea.
Okay, history of tea.
Hole punch. No, we circled back to that already.
Okay.
Hold on, I need a good sip of my tea.
No, I mean, I really fucking hate whatever that is.
I haven't tried it yet.
Grapefruit.
I'm not a fan. Like, I definitely didn't show the camera my face, but you can definitely tell that when I bite into it, it's not
I have
me.
cashew mixing with it, so I don't know if that's affecting my opinion.
Cashew's really good, so maybe.
But yeah.
So, oh well, actually, we were describing the bases of tea, and
Yeah.
we were talking about black.
Blacks are usually
I
used
just-
for
let me also say
breakfast
this.
teas.
I don't want you to like splurge all your information in one episode.
This is not all my information.
I just want you to know that I don't want you to go through like all of the things you know about tea.
What's this base?
This is black.
We'll just talk about black.
That's what I was
Perfect.
gonna do.
Perfect.
Okay.
Smart girl.
I'm not a fucking dinosaur.
You sure act like one.
Sometimes, yeah. I'd be roaring and shit.
Like your sister.
You're just roaring in community market.
Yeah, actually, sometimes.
What do you mean?
Like, I'm just like, ah.
Okay, that's true. You do that a lot.
Yeah, I do that a lot, and then people will turn their backs and be like,
What do you mean they're all turn their backs?
like,
They'll walk away.
like shithole customers will be like at my counter, and they turn around to like walk away, leave the store. I'm like,
Oh, you do that.
Yeah.
I thought they turned around because they heard you doing it and they did it back to you. I was like, this is.
That'd be great.
I was like, how
if
much?
someone did it back to me, I think I'd shit my pants.
I was like, how much do you do this to the point where everyone who goes to the store knows to just like do that to you?
oh, hold on, I gotta give me a moment. I gotta look at this again.
I was worried about length. Are you kidding?
Length?
of the episode.
You didn't think we'd go long enough?
Yeah, I was worried about it.
Really?
Yeah, I was. I was like, I hope we don't go through all our topics like really fast.
Oh, okay.
That's a WWR thing.
So, people believe that this tea was gifted to Charles because he opened up the tea trading routes throughout all of like India and all that, and Asia and all that.
Really?
Yes, because previously it was a monopoly owned by the India company.
Oh, actually, I think I've definitely heard something about that. But also, I guess my question comes with, so this guy's like a big tea guy.
Yeah.
Like people.
Well, he's British, so yeah.
He's like the Elon Musk of tea.
Well, I was gonna say, but he's like. He
made
liberated
strides.
the tea route.
Yeah.
From who?
The India Tea Company.
And who are those? Who are they?
Oh, they're like fucking monsters, dude.
What do you mean?
Nah, if these are the right people, they're just shitty all around.
I don't.
Terrible.
Like,
Why is that?
we learned about this in like our history class. Granted, I don't remember a whole much
don't
about
remember
it,
this.
but from what I
think that's why I
remember,
know.
they were the people that caused like the huge tax inflation on tea, and you could only get tea from them, hence the monopoly of it.
Okay.
And they would their labor forces would be awful because
Freshman year.
Where's freshman year?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if we should say his name. That's why I said freshman year. Sorry.
I'll bleep it out. It's okay.
But yeah, freshman year.
But yeah, he opened up all the tea trading routes, so this was technically a gift from Asia.
Real quick, if you had one question to ask somebody to know if they were like into tea, what question would that be? Because for me, with my base knowledge, it's, do you know who this guy is? Because if you know who this guy is,
You know some shit.
yeah, you're into tea.
I don't know. I feel like if you just ask someone like what their favorite tea is, and they actually like give you like
Not like a basic answer.
yeah, like if they just say like, oh yeah, I really like chamomile, like you're into tea at least a little bit. You like chamomile.
But I feel like what just happened now is like if I was talking to Tarantino about like with someone and they didn't know who Tarantino was, like I feel like that's what just
Yeah,
happened.
no, I think like, yeah.
It was like
Or
you
like-
don't know Tarantino,
Or even just like Michael Bay. You know, like
no, there's no, way it's that.
No, it's like you don't know who this guy is. He's a pretty big guy
Okay,
in this world.
okay.
I think.
I guess I know the name Earl Grey tea, but that's mainly just because of
Ooh.
Star Trek,
Oh.
and because that's what Picard drinks.
But this, sorry,
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
but this is not actually the original tea recipe for the tea that he was gifted.
How do you know?
We don't. But
You're just making shit up.
no, there's
It's like
speculation.
a cult or something.
We don't know the full history because but fuck nothing was written down back then.
Okay.
And then the Alexander building or whatever burnt. I don't know when that was.
The
Alexandria.
Library of Alexandria.
Yeah.
Isn't that in Egypt? I don't
know.
Yeah, it's in Africa.
I think that happened like thousands of years ago.
I couldn't tell you. I'm not a history guy.
But they believe that the bergamot oil that is in this tea right now was actually used to compensate for the lime in the water because their water quality was awful.
Oh.
Lime in the water.
Yes, it's a composition of like a chemical composition that helps with water, but they were trying to compensate because like no matter what they mixed into it, it didn't taste the same, and they found that bergamot was the closest they could get to the original flavor of the tea because it made up for their like awful water quality.
Oh my god.
That's fascinating because it tastes like soap.
Oh my
Hey, it's
god.
clean.
Anyway, go on.
The tea became very famous in Britain because, you know, it was a gift and all that, and he was so obsessed with it because it was a gift, but it became one of the main teas for entertaining company.
What about the other tea that was made for entertaining company?
Lady Grey was just a variation of it.
For the ladies.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there are
Like there's a
different...
sedative in it.
Actually, let me go back to here.
There were just pussy lips right in the tea.
Ew.
It's a garnish.
But there are different types of Earl Grey teas. There's like Russian Earl Grey tea that has like primrose in it or something. I don't...
What flavor profile does that add?
More soap.
More floral.
Okay.
They cut back on the bergamot, so it's less of the soap and more of the floral because they try to bring more like different things to the forefront of the flavor. But yeah.
What's your favorite version of it?
I haven't actually tasted the other versions yet, so when we get around to those, it'll be an experience for all of us.
Oh my god.
That'll be fascinating though.
But
That
for
truly
what
shows
pairs
how little we
well,
know about tea.
Oh, I know nothing.
Well, I mean, yeah, but the idea like there's multiple types of this tea.
oh yeah,
That's wild to me.
oh yeah. But I have a list of what pairs well with our tea: cashews.
Oh no way.
Yeah, for nuts, there's cashews, almonds, and macadamia. Dark chocolate pairs well as any citrus flavor profile like oranges, lemons, grapefruit, which you guys do not care for. Do not bite
I
that
kind of like this
hole.
grapefruit on that one. This is the first time I've ever had grapefruit.
Me too, and I was like, oh, it's probably fine, but I did not.
Anytime I think of grapefruit, I think of the annoying orange grapefruit, and that turns me off of it.
I understand. Like the Cartoon Network annoying orange, or like the.
Well, whichever one. That's the one I'm most familiar with. I hate to say.
I do too. I hate to say that as well, but definitely.
I
me.
watched that show.
I did not.
Oh well, I think I watched it too much.
It pissed
think
me
I did
off
too.
as a kid.
As it should.
I think it also pissed. I think I still watched it too much.
But blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries, as well as plums, figs, and
We should have got
Peaches.
some figs.
you don't like figs. You've
I like
tried them.
tangerines.
But yeah, that's my tea.
Oh, that's your tea. Okay.
Ugh.
Are we moving on? I don't know.
From
Does anyone have
the
anything
tea?
else to
Oh
say?
yeah, follow up question on the tea. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
You said there was different types of this. Like there's a Russian one, or what are the other ones?
Oh, it's hard. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, that's
Is
fine.
it just all the cultures?
Mm.
Is there an LGBTQ tea?
And if there is, we had to try it in like June.
Okay.
All right, so I
Do
think
you
I come
wanna?
next.
I was gonna say, do
'cause
you
I
want to
think
take a
you
break
come
first?
last. Oh, take a break?
That's up to you. I didn't know if we were doing that because this will get cut by the break anyway.
You want to try it?
Sure.
Let's try it. Okay.
I kind of like the idea of like restructuring our plates.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I didn't think about that until like now, obviously, but like,
Which
I might just keep this in. We're gonna take a break real quick
yeah,
because we're figuring out the format of this show.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, we're back from the break, and
And my orange is peeled.
and this my
speaking
orange
of orange peels, it's in this tea.
and my orange is gone. I ate it all.
Dude, that looks monstrous.
Show that to
Yeah,
the
sure.
camera.
Go ahead. That's like the Demogorgon face.
I don't know. Hopefully they can get a good view. I don't know. It's really scary looking.
Reminds me of that dick I saw that looks like the Demogorgon.
Oh God, don't
Isn't that-
don't.
I'm so
Isn't
glad
it
I missed
called
out
the
on that.
Demogorgon? No, it's not.
No.
We showed you that in the back of Kyan's car.
Yeah.
Isn't that in the back of your old car?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it was.
God,
And I remember.
that's a while ago.
Yeah, I remember very vividly thinking, I don't want to see that.
Just
And I didn't.
just to paint the image in the viewer's head. It was a man's penis split down the middle.
That's what happens when you do the cult wrong.
It looked like a Star Wars ship. It looked like something that's really big that would fly in. You can look it up. You know what? That it looked like Omega in Super Smash Brothers when you pick like
It's
the
a kink,
Final
guys.
Destination stage.
That's someone's kink.
I know, right?
That's wild.
It's easier to get a
like,
blowjob
so is
if you're
Gavin.
doing a threesome.
yeah.
Like, that's an advantage.
Yeah, no, that's a strategic. You know what?
Is that what it is?
It must be. There's no other
But
reason.
does it feel
Also-
good?
It has to.
Double penetration.
Trip.
No, like if you're
Just two.
if it's one woman, one dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's really flexible.
There's
triple.
no way in hell that works. There's no way.
We can find someone
How
to test
big
it
is the
out.
guy's dick?
I thought you said we can try it, and I was like, I don't think we can.
No.
Nor
I'm
do I
not
want
trying.
to.
No.
But viewers at home, if you
We
really wanna
can't
get in,
stop you.
If you really want to get in big with
We're
the
not
cult,
encouraging it, but we can't stop you.
Yeah, we're not giving cult points for people who double penetrate with their demigorgon penis. We're not.
but when we have a Patreon tier called Demigorgon Dick, you'll understand.
Yeah,
where it
this
came
is yeah, it's all a reference.
from. All right. I just gotta scoot closer so I'm in frame. I'm worrying about that.
The demigorgon, something a little spooky, something supernatural.
That's right. This leads in nice with part 2. So, I think next in the show comes my portion of the podcast.
Structured portion of the podcast.
Yeah, structured.
That was really too close.
The structured portion of the contest.
It's our ASMR segment.
Contest. It's not a contest.
No, it's not. Well, if it is, I'm gonna win.
Just know deep down inside, viewers, it's an internal battle of wits every time you tune into this show. But my portion.
We hate each other.
I want these two to die.
Yeah.
By my
Actually,
hands.
nothing we say is a joke. This is all real.
I
We
have
despise each other.
I have no sense of humor. If my coworkers watch this, they'll probably think that.
They're like, this guy.
But my portion of the podcast, well, initially where the idea came from was like the idea of like, well, if we're trying to branch out and think of, well, what could this be besides just like tea?
And we thought,
Well,
if Haley's gonna nerd out,
yes, but mainly nerd out about something that isn't really brought up a lot.
yeah, something you can't just like casually talk about.
Right. It's not casually brought up in the friend group to just like rant about
Y'all are
tea.
a bunch of fucking losers.
This is why we have this show.
Yeah, we're about to not be losers.
Yeah.
What was that guy's name? Earl.
Charles.
Damn it.
Okay, Earl.
He was the Earl, but his name was Charles the second.
What's the tea called?
Earl Grey.
Well, that's where I got Earl from. I wasn't just like
Because his last name was Grey. His name was Charles Grey the
Charles
second.
Gray.
The second.
The second.
The second kind.
Sorry.
Remember
I'm
this.
sorry.
He was a British Prime Minister in the 1830s.
You're close to the mic.
Sorry.
Don't get close to the mic after you say you're close to the mic.
No, that's the bit. Yeah. Sorry, audio listeners, you can't see.
I think they heard.
Well, no, but like it's a visual bit.
But so yeah, I was trying to think of like what that was for me. What was the thing that I could nerd out about that I don't usually talk about? And for me, that happens to be the paranormal.
Yep.
The Spectral.
Yes, I already forgot the name.
Spectruminal.
Spectruminal. Trinity.
T-A.
Yeah, TEA.
Because I have very much a fascination with the paranormal.
It is interesting. That's for sure.
I adore it. And it's not really just because I'm not a believer. I'm very much a skeptic in like every like facet of everything paranormal.
Dude,
But
we filmed ghost stuff at the cemetery near my house.
I know we this is how far it went. Like I have ghost hunting equipment.
Yeah, it is still over there.
It's over in the other room.
We
Just
dropped
off
out
camera.
mid-fire.
Right?
Yeah, we did. We were
go
like,
hunt
"Hey guys,
ghosts."
let's go hunt some ghost."
And I like I don't know where to start.
You're obsessed with the paranormal.
Yeah.
That led you to this thing you can't
It's
talk
all
about.
because of this dude named Zach Baggins.
And that's exactly what I'm here to talk about with you two fuckers today.
Really?
Yes. I'm so happy you brought it back to the root of where
He's got big tits.
I'm so happy you brought your tea love to the root of where you started drinking tea, because that's exactly what I'm doing with the paranormal. I was like, what made me interested in the paranormal? And the first thing that I thought of was the fact that I watched Ghost Adventures as a young boy. And it fucking terrified me. It scared the shit out of me, but also fascinated me at the exact same time. I have this vivid memory of just like laying in my parents' bed, like in between them, because I was a scared little bitch and I thought monsters were gonna get me or something.
No, that's fair.
And there was
Scary noises they play.
there was like a small box TV like set up near the top of the ceiling. It was something that like we couldn't reach normally, so it was like very high up, and we were just like staring at it, looking at it. And on there, Ghost Adventures came on, and I was fascinated by it because I don't know, like I know for a fact that I don't know if I was in a ghost at this time, but I was just naturally drawn to shit that scared the shit out of me. Like
which is odd to me.
a great example of that was Courage the Cowardly Dog. Like that's probably one of my favorite cartoons, and it terrified me. Like I still remember the last episode, You're Not Perfect, when he has that dream sequence shit, and that little blue fetus comes up and is like just whispers into the mic, "You're not perfect," and it scared. I had nightmares about that shit.
I remember you telling me about that when once again, freshman year, you were thinking about this. This was still prevalent in your head. All the way till now.
It is frequently. I think about this episode a lot.
It's your core memory right there.
It is. Yeah.
It's crazy. Inside Out 2's coming. Go on.
Fucking anxiety.
Go, because Corbin. I'm sorry.
Okay. And yeah, I was fascinated by Ghost Adventures, and I was completely sucked into it. And it spurred this love for like the paranormal in my mind, and I don't know exactly what I was drawn to, completely, like by it as a kid. I know I was really freaked out by like the little
The rare noises.
well, not the noises, but like the the bumps that were kind of like played in between to move to commercial.
Oh, okay.
Or just like go like, this is coming up next on Ghost Adventures. And it was just like, there's one in my head of like a baby doll that has like an eye that's like moving. Yeah, that shit. I thought those were like really scary as a kid.
Dude, I had like auditory horror shit from that because my parents would blare that in the living room while I was trying to go to bed for kindergarten.
Yeah, but you have a weird history with like Ghost Adventures.
I still watch the shit out of it.
And
but
I have been watching it like recently. I've been getting into it.
We still have the same, like our first flat screen TV. We still have that in our house. It is now my parents' bedroom, but that was our living room TV when we lived in the ghetto, Rocky over there.
Okay, the ghetto.
They call them Ridge Runners.
Yeah.
Go on.
I was waiting for you to go on.
But that was our first TV. We still have that thing. They still watch Ghost Adventures on the show. I hear it through the walls. She uses that to fall asleep.
It's good. It's good.
That's her ASMR.
That's
I'm
wild.
fine with that. Zach Baggins screaming, "Slit my wrist, you fucking pussy!" It's good. I started rewatching Ghost Event. I started to get an interest in it again because I watched it at your place. Their like new movie that dropped.
I remember.
Wait, wasn't it like something island?
It was like a haunted island. And immediately that concept fascinated me.
Yeah, well, yeah, because
A
you were
haunted
like,
island.
you can't run anywhere because
Well-
it's an island.
Well, the
That'd
great
be why I liked the Zombie Island Scooby-Doo movie so much.
Really?
Yeah.
the great
It
thing.
freaked me the fuck out, dude. But I loved it.
Dude, this one Mary-Kate and Ashley movie freaked me the fuck out. But go on, Gavin.
Well, the concept of a haunted island started to fascinate me because I was just like, there's enough. It's like a big portion of land, without a doubt, and there is a lot like, because in a lot of their episodes, it's just like them in like an abandoned place, and they're locked down in it.
Yeah.
But to have them on an island, it's like, and immediately my brain starts to formulate like narratives that aren't in the show, and I'm just thinking about the own stories I would tell.
Yeah. Like storyteller, this guy.
And I just love the idea of being able to run away from danger, being able to run away from the fact that something is scaring you in this one building, and you can run away from it. But no matter how much you run, you still can't escape that danger. Even if you feel like you're safe away from this one place on this island, the entire island is haunted. You can't get away from it. It's that idea of like trying to get to freedom, and you feel safe for a moment, but then it just starts to creep upon you that there's no escape.
I feel like you like escape rooms.
I would love escape rooms. And just watching it again, like I'll divulge into this a little bit. Like me and Kyan, we want to make stuff. We want to make like we want to tell stories. And there's this one story in particular we want to tell of these paranormal investigators, and it was just giving me ideas watching the Ghost Adventures do this, because while I think rewatching Ghost Adventures again, and like especially the early seasons. I don't know. I doubt it gets better in the later seasons, but it's a shit show. It's awful.
Dude, I love the earlier seasons.
It's really bad, but like I still love it, and it comes down to this like fundamental like vibe that I have when I watch the show, and maybe it's kind of what like led me down what I think is scary now, because. I love horror movies, but like there's a specific type of way a horror movie really fucking gets to me.
Yeah.
It's mainly subtlety. I love the idea of just like a lot of stuff isn't in your face. It's always just like it's little things.
I was gonna say, I like when
I'm a
things are
gory
just
gal.
there.
Yeah, and Ghost Adventures kind of gets there. It kind of, because this kind of gets to one of the biggest flaws is they have those moments of when, and again, I put myself in my own headspace when I'm with like you guys, and I'm like, oh, we're paranormal investigating. Like, I think of it while watching. I was like, what would we do in this scenario? And to just have those moments, because I know Ghost Adventures doesn't scare a lot of people. People go like, why do people find this show scary? It isn't fucking scary at all. But then I watch it, and it's that subtlety aspect of you're just like talking into the void, and you can't you can't see anything around you. It's completely pitch black.
I think that show is very much ruined by its music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just that. We'll get into it.
Okay.
I love watching the Ohio episodes because I'm just like, I can drive there. Right. I can go there right now.
But it's that feeling.
I'd probably drive there, and it'd be a group adventure
of just talking into the void and hoping to get something. And part of me is convinced that nothing is even going to happen.
Yeah.
Just talking to the void. But then something does. And it could just be like a bane or like a faint voice that you just hear in the background. And what always happens in Ghost Adventures is then the bros just go like, oh my fucking god, did you see that fucking shit? That shit made my tank crawl up inside my ass.
Dude, they pick on Aaron.
Aaron's the camera.
The bald guy.
Yeah.
They pick on him so much. It's kind of funny.
But the way they go about ghost hunting is the worst way to ghost hunt, because Zach is always extremely confrontational.
Yeah.
He really wants to like get under the ghost's skin.
But
and,
he's
like,
all about being
them.
Respectful too, and you're like, dude,
No, he's not.
No, he'll like open up and be like, we're going to be respectful to these ghosts, especially if it's like a hospital place. We're going to be respectful, and he's like, Slayer is.
Yeah, because this, and again, they're thinking these guys are scam artists, of course, but like like Zach Baggins is a huge fucking snake oil merchant, and because of that, he's making good television.
But do you think he's like?
He somewhat believes it.
Yeah. Do you think he's like in his delusion?
Well, he has that whole haunted museum.
Yeah, I think that's where part of it comes into. Is he has this haunted museum that people can go through, and he's like, look at all this fucked up shit. And
is it free admission though?
I doubt it.
Damn.
Even if not, I'm sure they sell something there.
Oh yeah, they probably sell like merchandise.
He made a movie about his house.
Oh yeah, I know.
So like, but do you think he's in? Like, he believes it. Like he's like.
I want to believe that. I'm just the complete like Fox Mulder type thing. I want to believe in ghosts so bad, and I want him to want to believe in ghosts. I want his heart to be in the right place, but I don't think it is.
I feel like in the beginning it was.
Maybe.
And maybe I'm just fucked up, but like, I can lie myself into believing something.
You're gonna gaslight yourself into believing the paranormal.
But you don't think he could? And also, it's the idea that like humans like naturally want to fill space.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we're gonna get into this.
Like, there is, and it was because I was thinking Illuminati. They actually brought up that there was a ghost hunting show that they'd have some dude sit with a Ouija board and like ping pong balls over his eyes because it simulates the deprivation, and people can trip by just listening to static and just having
golf balls over there.
Yeah, just it's the idea of deprivation. Like you want to fill the space.
I'm not going to lie. I want to go into a sensory deprivation tank.
Oh yeah, it would be incredible.
Oh, I'm sure. I think I'd enjoy that.
So would I.
But what you're getting to like comes into delusion. I think this is a good point to bring up. Like I'm extremely like agnostic about almost everything in life. Like I don't believe a lot in anything, but I'm always willing to believe in something. It's just the fact that like
has to tickle your fancy, right?
Well, it's just like
that's why he made his own.
That's what I say. That's why we made a cult.
And we'll get into it. But like, I want to believe in so much that is like outside the realm of possibility, paranormal.
Yeah.
But I can't bring myself to do it because there's like there's facts and how we perceive the world.
Well, and I was gonna say
contrasts.
And you always bring up the interesting point of like, once they explain it, it's no longer paranormal.
Yeah.
So
I had this talk with my parents recently.
Allow me to drag you to my basement.
Well, that's the thing. But if like in 10 years, scientists come out, it's like, oh yeah, like where we see the most ghost sightings, we find this thing that we just learned how to detect. Like it's just this material that just happens to like occupy the space and does weird shit.
It is important to. I think this is a good way to like explain how I like feel about things. Where it is like I really condensed how I feel about it into words the last time I talked about this with my parents. Where it's like whatever the paranormal is what the people in their present day think is like beyond them. Mm-hmm. Like it's completely like possible that maybe ghosts do exist. Maybe there's some sort of paranormal force out there that we just cannot comprehend. Mm-hmm. But when we do comprehend when we find it, it's going to become science. Like people will study it, people will clarify it, people will identify it.
Test, retest, explain.
I've always thought of it as science, actually. I don't know if that's just like a me thing. It probably is, but I've always thought of it as some sort of science thing because the way you have to try and to explain the paranormal is you use like the electromagnetic stuff and all that. That is science.
Well,
I guess it depends.
Where's my train of thought going? Oh yeah.
If you're doing like medium stuff, then yeah, I can see that more as paranormal.
That's
but if you're
doodads, who's a Weston?
Well, the example I always go to is like cryptids, which I will talk about on this podcast. I will bring like
the
cryptids
frog
to
man.
this. And it's
even looking at an octopus. What the fuck?
Right, and you have to put yourself in this mind space of everyone's heard the stories of like sailors who go out to sea and find like this giant ass fucking squid.
The kraken.
And they call it the kraken, and they accentuate it. They
tell tales.
It
spirals. Suddenly,
it is an alright Old Spice smell.
It becomes this exaggerated thing, but also ingrained into there is usually a lot of morals on what the ethics of the time are. Like and that's a thing with like ghosts. Like I think the prime example is La Llorona.
La Llorona?
Yeah, it's like this ghost and like I think
talking about the nun.
No, it's not a nun.
Or the lady in like the river.
The lady at the lake. It's like Mexican folktale.
Yes,
I think of a woman who drowned her kids for some reason.
Isn't she like?
I can't remember exactly why. And it's just the tale of like if you go out at night, you're gonna like get drowned by this woman.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
And the tale that was told about her is one to teach a moral to those kids, but it's also to be like, hey, don't go outside at night and don't go by the river because you'll get eaten by a fucking alligator. Like that's not what it's about.
But
that's what it's implying.
I think it's fascinating how cryptids change when religion is introduced.
I was terrified of El Chupacabra as a kid.
The Chupacabra?
Yeah.
Like a gooey?
The Chupacabra is a great example because and again, what I was talking about.
It's gonna get her goats, man.
That idea of I can't remember the animal in particular, but there's also that tale of when like sailors thought they found like mermaids, and through their writings, people have kind of deduced that they're those like white whales with like those big ass heads.
Oh, belugas.
Belugas. I think they're belugas. And I'll put a picture up probably up there right now.
Definitely like research that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
And it's just kind of this like idea that this is what they thought mermaids were.
Yeah.
But as time goes along, we get more and more accepting of these things in our society. And again, scientists study them. They give them a scientific name. They don't call them a mermaid anymore. They call them a beluga. And it kind of gets into this idea that I have that like I kind of view science as its own religion also, because like
understand why.
Because what religion is to me is just people trying to understand the world better of things they can't really comprehend. And that's kind of what science does when you look at it like that, because it takes these things that we're not accustomed to at this point, and these people identify them, give them labels, and it makes them feel better. It makes them feel like they've conquered it in some way.
Yeah.
And it makes life easier.
What creatures do you guys think you would be?
What do you mean?
Like, would you be like a mermaid? Would you be like a vampire? Would you be a werewolf?
I would be Mothman, and tragedy would follow me.
You would cause 9/11.
No. He already
I'd
did that.
revert it.
I mean, once it fell down those holes, there was no way.
But you brought up the chupacabra. That's a great example.
Dude, that used to scare the shit out of me as a kid.
Why?
I don't know. Just like the idea of this blood-sucking animal coming after my fucking dog, I was...
And the thing is, like, again, they called it the chupacabra. They make these drawings of it. In reality, it's probably just a fucking dog.
Yeah.
It's a dog just killing people's
with
sheep.
like rabies or something.
Right? Yeah.
Don't even
And
sound
there's
effects.
even that like video of like this woman who like supposedly filmed the chupacabra, and it's just like a dog running, and it kind of like
Have
tilts
you
its head
seen
that way.
those videos of people like recording these like amalgamation of clouds in the sky, and they're just like, look, it's a dragon, because it's moving weird.
But that's just if you say it's a dragon, it's gonna look like a dragon.
Well, it's just the like. It's probably edited as shit, but this is like when I was like younger, but there'd be like videos of like these clouds like swooping around, like these figure 8 patterns are like going around, and it just looked like dragons. It was cool.
And I gotta tie this all back to Ghost Adventures. Where was I going with this?
I have no clue. We just spiraled.
Yeah, I guess I'm just like establishing what my thoughts are on the paranormal and how it all works, and how I deeply want to believe that paranormal things exist, especially ghosts. I have a fascination with it. But I don't like. Oh yeah, it gets to this thing where like Zach like he tries to understand it a lot like fully, or he like makes so many accusations about what he thinks is going on.
Yeah.
About what the ghost is. He's like, is this the ghost that murdered these 13 people in this basement that just like banged on this ladder? And it's like, probably not. it's like I don't know what that is, but I'm not going to assume it's this one ghost.
Especially if 13 people were killed in this basement.
And I do have notes. Because I watched like 2 episodes of Ghost Adventures to jot down what the format of every episode
Have you
is.
watched those like the Zozo episodes where they were like this family?
Pazuzu?
Yeah.
Or Zuzu?
Did you watch those ones?
No, I did not. But talking about Ghost Adventures is just a nice way to ease us into like why I like paranormal stuff.
Uh-huh.
Why it fascinates me, and also it's fun to poke fun at Ghost Adventures because it's a bad show.
It's so
but I
good.
still like it. And for preparation for this, and by preparation I meant I did this yesterday, at night. I watched 2 episodes of Ghost Adventures. The first one I'll be talking about is season 2, episode 7, and this one got me really fucking excited because I just picked up where I left off, and I was so happy I was going to talk about this one because it's one I remembered watching as a kid.
Really?
One specific fucking moment. But we'll get to it. So, like, just to, like, immediately what fascinates me about the show is the opening. Like the opening, I'm Zach Baggins, and this is my crew, and we're Ghost Adventures. Because it brings me back to a time in television where they had to hook you. Because now we're not in that with streaming. And the fact that you can just, like, turn something on, you have the entire season at your disposal. And people just kind of accept that, like, it'll probably get better.
And at that, you can skip through.
Right?
Yeah.
There is a skip intro button on most things now.
Right?
Yeah.
And
You had to listen to Zach Baggins talk his bullshit.
yeah, but
I still listen.
But back then, you know, you had to hook people.
Oh, yeah.
Onto what this show was. So you have Zach Baggins going like, "Listen, dude, I got my 2 buddies with me. I didn't believe in ghosts until I found one." That hooks you immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Because immediately you're like, "Oh, this guy was a skeptic," but then he found evidence, and he's trying to prove it to the world. And so he hooks you in with that, and it's just all these like B-roll things of like creepy like places happening and things that will happen in the show later of Zach going like, "If this is the portal to hell, then why don't you come out through it?"
I remember that episode.
It's in the intro. It's always in the intro.
Well, I remember the episode that happened because it was like behind the stairs.
And part of why I love it is because he's like, "Listen, we got 2 guys here, no expensive camera crews, no shit. It's raw, it's extreme. This is Ghost Adventures." And I made sure to remember that he says raw and extreme because he's selling it like a WWE
I was
match.
going to ask if those were the adjectives he used.
They are.
That is awesome.
The fact, and it brings me back to this time in the early. This was like in 2008. And to think about that, I was 4 years old while this was happening. It was like, man, this was a different time in television. I mean, you can see it just by what Zach wears. He has like baggy ass jeans that
And
like
his little,
go
like,
down to his knees.
His tight ass shirts had like the crosses and shit.
Yes, yes. It's like he's got like a Tupac tattoo on the back of his shirt. It's crazy. And it's that aesthetic they have. They all wear black, like because they're like emo punk rock motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Listen to My Chemical Romance.
Ah, the good days.
I know, right? And it brings me back to a time, and I get nostalgic for it, and I love it. But then there's like the next part of the show where Zach is like, "Here's where we are in bumfuck nowhere that you've never heard of, and here's the most haunted place in the world."
Oh, yeah.
They always have to like really go out of their way to like sell you that it's like extremely haunted.
Oh, yeah, they got it.
They'll be like, "This happened before we got here. This is an omen that this is going to be a horrible trip."
And to show that, they have local interviews, which is one of my favorite parts of of the show, because sometimes they're just like they're talking to people who they just like knock on their door and they're like, "Hey, have you had any like paranormal experiences out there?" And they probably haven't. They just want to get on TV and they're like, "Yeah, I saw a shadow playing dice over there," and it's just like, no, you fucking didn't. You just want to get on television so you can say you were on television.
Hey.
I should do a local interview with my grandma about the ghost in her house.
Real quick, did you guys ever watch Celebrity Ghost Stories?
Yes, I did.
I don't think so.
It scared the
Oh.
fuck out of me.
It did scared the shit out of me, dude. For
couldn't
no
go to sleep.
reason. Yeah. No, I'd be like, hey, turn that off when I was a little kid.
That's what I did with Ghost Adventures, dude. I was like, "Can you turn that down, please?"
I remember this one. I don't remember the celebrity, but there was this one where this like woman would just sleep in this bed, and there was like an old man like in the corner that she would see every night. Eventually, it like started to choke her, and it scared the fucking shit out of me.
You know, I might have seen that, but my sisters and mom were obsessed with that show, dude.
That's women like some weird shit.
And I love it because there's like those interviews are like that, or it's like there's one guy who's way too into it, who frequents this place a lot or like gives tours and he knows every single fact about what happened here.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like outdoing. He's just like, listen, like, and the thing was great is that in episode 7 of season 2, it's like the best one they've ever had yet of like the know-it-all guy, because he looks like a fat, or he looks like a white Biggie Smalls. Like that's how he's dressed.
That is fantastic.
It's fucking hilarious. But he's got like a Jeff Bridges beard, and and he's so coy the entire time. Like he's like,
well, the ghost might have been here.
he's just like, listen, guys, you need to understand what the fuck is going on here.
You got one fireplace at the end of the hall. It's not going to heat this whole place. This building is a vortex of energy.
Like,
Sounds like my father.
he takes it so seriously. Like at one point in the show, it's like I think he was really excited. Either this was staged or he was really damn excited to like get on the show to expose this to the world. But he was like, listen, in this particular room in this basement, a woman was attacked here by a ghost, and you know what? I brought her here for you to interview. And he was like, he's on top of his shit.
If you had mentioned ghosts, these people tell you you're delirious. In fact, I've invited her here today to talk to you.
She's here.
Yeah, she's here.
Yeah.
Like, damn, he was planning this out.
And he was like, Chef's coming?
At one point in the show, like the Biggie Smalls man, like who's like he's like Zach is running around like this basement, and the guy leans to the cameraman. I think his name's Nick, and he goes like, "Listen, I'm not gonna tell him like where the particular energy is in this place." I love that they use the term energy because it means nothing.
Yeah,
it means
absolutely
nothing. I just go like energy, huh? Prove it, you fucking pussy. Like it means nothing. And I want to believe again. Like I'm watching
Show
this
me the
going
spike.
like, oh, there's energy, but there's also part of me going like, you're so full of fucking shit. But he's just like, listen, there's.
I don't know, man. They might be onto something about energy.
Oh, it stopped.
Perfect.
Sorry about that, folks. It was audio only, probably for a time, or I put some stupid shit.
It's okay. We'll flash images from the episode up.
But eventually, like, it gets to the point where the guy is like, listen, there's a spike in one particular area, and I'm just gonna see if this guy's like legitimate. So I'm gonna see if he feels the energy. And eventually Zach goes this one place in the room, and he's like, you fucking found it. Like, you're legit. You fucking. And I'm just like, this must be staged. Like I'm just like, you have this like old man who like is being so coy about everything about the paranormal activity going on in this place.
You're talking like a Re7 character right now, and I'm loving it.
And he's just like, he literally says to Zach like, listen, like, oh yeah, and then he's like, but Zach finds another place where there's like, he's like, I'm feeling something here, and the guy goes, you fucking found it. This is the other place where it spikes, like, and it's where the woman got attacked. And he's just like, listen, I've been testing you guys out here, see if you're legit, and you're legit. Like, you're meant to be here. I know it. I'm just like, Zach must have told this guy, like, you have to prove to the people watching that we're meant to be here.
Well, maybe he didn't. Even this guy was just like, I just want to be on TV.
It could be that too.
He was just like, no, you guys are doing great.
And it worked. He sticks in my mind like a fucking sore thumb.
Yeah.
And it's oh my, like, where do I even continue from here? Like, yeah, the place that Zach finds that it has like a lot of energy is like a tunnel that like people like snuck through in because it was like slave trade or some shit. I can't remember. But they like go to the opposite side of it.
Some good notes.
They go to the opposite side of it, like outside, and like Zach literally like scales a wall and like trespasses on private property. And he's like, I'm gonna go to the other side because it's closed off.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's something alive in here, and like literally a cat runs out and like scares the fuck out of him. And I think they add in post like a rare sound effect.
That's really funny.
We should do a Ghost Adventures episode where we just like go to the Ohio caverns and like we book it so it's just us in the group, and then we just like go around like a bunch of idiots.
Oh, I thought you meant like do the podcast there. I was like, the acoustics would be terrible.
Are you kidding me? They'd be like, it's actually normal cave sounds. We get the drips and everything.
I'm just thinking of the echo, really.
The echo, it sells it. We're a cult.
Fair enough,
We're having
fair
our
enough.
meeting in there.
Another thing that I love about this show that's so corny and stupid is the fact that like when they're scoping out the place during the first act, when they're getting familiar with the place and they're having their
During
Biggie
the
Smalls,
first act.
they're having
Oh,
their Biggie Smalls character like go like, listen, this is where the shit went down. And before I say that, like part of that is part of the fascination to me of why I like abandoned places, and I
Hold
think
on.
it's what fed into the. Oh, go on. Sorry.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Do you mean the notorious B.I.G.?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Because of legal issues, I think I very, very vividly remember he couldn't go by Biggie Smalls because somebody else owns that name.
Whatever.
It's very different to me now.
Everyone knows who I'm talking about.
No, they think you're talking about Biggie Smalls, not notorious B.I.G.
But those sections
Are you
when
becoming hypnotized?
those sections in which people are going through, it's like, and this is where the ghost pushed this woman down these stairs, which happens in this episode. Like, I kind of like love that feeling. And I think it's why I love abandoned places so much, because I want to explore abandoned places. I just don't know where
do
they
it
are.
with you.
Let's fucking do
Let's
it.
go to Helltown, Ohio.
Let's do it.
I'll have to get some different shoes.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You've been needing different shoes for a while.
There's no reason to put my business out there like that.
They've hindered our adventures.
Anyway.
Our ghost adventures. And
Damn it.
I love that idea of being told what happened here, because, and just in abandoned buildings, trying to think of what took place in this building.
Yeah.
Over like the decades of time it's been here. And when you hear those stories, it reminds me of like, do you know the trailer for like Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock?
No.
Like, what it was? It's such a great trailer.
The only thing I know from Psycho is the
Yeah. The thing that was made to promote Psycho was Alfred Hitchcock walking through, like he was like, "Hello, I'm Alfred Hitchcock, and this is my movie, Psycho, and I will take you through the events of what happened in this
I
house."
do know about this.
Right?
Because of you.
It's such a great trailer because Alfred Hitchcock is just walking through this house, like the house the story takes place in, and he's describing what's happened, what's going to happen in the movie. He's giving spoilers to the movie, and he's going, and yes, this is where the main character walked up the stairs, and he stops himself, and he goes like, "No, I shouldn't talk about that."
I love that.
It's fucking genius.
Oh, yeah.
And you just have to think like, what went down, what happened, and then that's what sells tickets. And it's that feeling. It's that feeling of going, what actually happened? How did it go down? Because you can just have that like faint image of like, yeah, a lady got pushed down the stairs, but then you start to think about it, and then you start to think about this building's been here for decades. What else has gone down here? And just to think about that is like, that gets me hype. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I just love history in general, and that's why I get so pissed off when no one like does records of anything they do. I'm like, you stupid bitch.
And this gets into the other point I was gonna talk about. They make sure to they make a point in the show. Zach is like, listen, there's activity going around here. We need to scope this place out. Put an X down here. And then like Aaron or whatever his fucking name is, like takes some duct tape on his fucking like belt and goes like, and just like puts like duct taped X down on the floor, because he's like, we're gonna set up a night vision camera here to get like evidence of the paranormal. This is where we want to scope out. And it's just like, you don't need the X, dude. Like, you can just like go like, guys, remember this place where the one got pushed down the stairs? We're gonna set up a camera here. And like, you don't need to put the X down. I get why they do it. It's like, it's television. It's like, oh, we're putting an X down here because it's important. And we're making sure the audience knows it's important. And it feels like this cool process because, again, every episode's the same, and it's done like that because it's comfort food. It's like, yes, I know they're going to go through the place. I know there's going to be one standout character who knows way too much. I know they're going to put X's down.
They're going to put an X down.
That's
my favorite part.
Have you noticed that when they introduce a new tool for like ghost hunting, they explain it like someone made it in a lab for them?
Right? It's like Ghostbusters shit.
I know. They got to cross their streams. Bless you.
I will be back.
Oh no.
Here, we're gonna take a break, people.
Número de cuenta aquí.
We had a longer than expected break.
Nombre aquí. These are things I say at my work. Anyway. You don't have to keep that in. Go on.
Something I really hate that Ghost Adventures does is that they always act like they're solving something. I really fucking hate that because, again, I'm very agnostic with my belief system.
He makes the accusation, are you the ghost that did this thing?
You're the person who's doing this, and you're malevolent. You're pushing people. What the fuck are you doing? Like, in one episode, he points it out that, like, he's like...
Thank you.
He becomes antagonistic with like ghosts, and he makes sure to point out, it's like, now listen, viewers, we're being antagonistic because these ghosts have done nothing but hurt people. It's like, you're bullies. Like, he calls the ghosts bullies, and I'm just like, who hurt you, Zach?
Yeah, that's so weird.
Like, he's just like, we don't like bullies where we are, and we're here to stop that. And
He's like a kid who just didn't get attention from his parents.
Right, or he was bullied, I think. But it's just like...
Probably both.
It's just so odd because it's just like, what do you think you're doing? Like, a lot of the time they're like, well, we're here for a reason, to prove something. And it's like, dude, all you do is go into abandoned buildings and then just like freak out a little bit, and then just like, then the day's over. It's like, what do you think you're doing?
Dream
here?
job right there.
You're not the Avengers. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. You're not Mary-Kate and Ashley.
Also, I should specify for the viewers, yeah, we did switch cameras. We had issues.
Back to being up front with our audience. Yeah. Yeah.
No, they should know. They should know.
No, I think I look a lot prettier, so...
I can't
the quality is better.
I mean, I can't really see
I hope I'm
myself.
not overexposed as fuck. It did not look like that when I was setting things up. when we hit record, things change. I hope we're in focus. I hope we're lighted well. Time will tell. Maybe I just put Ghost of Tsushima gameplay over this. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about Ghost Adventures, and nothing that cool happens in the other episode that sticks out like White Biggie Smalls. But it was just like, yeah, this is the show that got me into the paranormal. I love it. I love ghosts. I want to believe in ghosts, but I don't really, even though it's a deep love of mine. Really, the only thing to mention from episode 8 that I found fascinating.
Episode 8 of the same season, correct?
Yes, same season. It was the end episode of that season. They went.
Wait, there's only 8 episodes?
There's only 8 episodes. Yeah,
Sorry,
pretty
go
sure.
on.
I don't know how
It
big.
was a low
longer-
budget at the beginning.
Yeah,
I mean, that
don't
makes
know
sense.
How longer they get as time
There's
goes
like
on.
20 episodes in a season now.
Okay, so big jump.
Yeah.
But they went to a place called Watton Under Edge in England. I hope I'm saying that right. And they went to a place called the Ancient Ram Inn. And really what just stuck out to me immediately was the person that they interviewed, the person who knows a lot about the place.
Yeah.
Not really about this place, but more so just the area encompassing it. Watton, I think it's like a village. The first written record of this place was in 1142.
1142.
1142. I think the guy says that's like 200 years before Columbus set sail into America. So just think about that. Just think about like how many years of history that exist on that place. And then he says, well, Zach is like, so we're investigating a place that is almost 1,000 years old. And he's like, more than 1,000 years old. Because he says, it's known that the Church of St. Mary's, which is a church at this place, it was known to be built in 940.
Wow.
Good God.
Before the year 1000.
You know how many
I want to explore.
You know how many people
Right.
like definitely just like died around there?
Oh, yeah.
How did they die? How
You
many
know,
murders
people
took
were probably
place?
persecuted in there?
Right?
Oh yeah.
And they go through it, like, there was, like, maimings, killings. The guy listed a bunch of, like, horrible atrocities that happened there. I didn't pay attention to that. I was just thinking, oh my
Structure.
god, that is fucking old. it just, like, sent chills down my spine to think about, like, oh my god, how much history has passed.
I think about how many people died building Gothic architecture sometimes.
Right?
Because, like, that is so intricate, and you have to get so high for those buildings.
Oh yeah.
It was just crazy. Like, it stuck out to me that he's, like, I never heard anybody refer to a year that didn't have 1,000, like, before it.
Yeah.
He said 940, and I was like, what the fuck? 940? Like, I can't comprehend what it was like back then.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Like even the language is completely different.
Completely different.
So just almost unrecognizable. Completely unrecognizable, probably.
Closer
But
to
the-
Latin than what we have now.
And it's crazy
for
that,
sure.
like, a structure still stands that was built, like, 1,000 fucking
Yeah.
years ago.
They don't build them like they used to.
But, like, I mean, do you think about how, like, the monuments that we have, like, how long they're gonna stay around? Like, I don't know if you know anything about the game, like, Horizon Zero Dawn, but the entire, like, premise of that game is, like, our society has perished, and, like, the future society is, like, much more, like,
I know
primitive.
they made her a Genshin character.
Okay.
Oh,
But,
terrible.
their society is much more, like, primitive and caveman-like, but they have, like, robots that are animals. And there's, like, remnants of, like, our past that
Yeah.
look like these incredible structures to them. Like, I think, like, the Golden Gate Bridge is in one of them. But it's, like, corroded, and the vines are all over it. And it's just, like, to think about...
There's a name for that aesthetic that I cannot remember off the top of my head.
It's just to think about, like, that's how we're going to be perceived at some point.
Or
is
like the
pretty crazy.
Statue of Liberty. I'm just thinking about like American
Oh
shit.
my God.
Like the Eiffel Tower. I'm sure that.
I mean, the Statue of Liberty now, that bitch used to be copper.
yeah, I know.
The Washington Monument?
That was another one I thought about.
The White House? How long is that
There's
gonna
so
stay?
many just
Pentagon.
in DC.
Right?
Like if you were just to go to the city, like there's a big Albert Einstein just chilling there.
That's... Oh
A
my
big
God.
ass Abe Lincoln.
Do
Who
you
was
think
this
about,
dude to
like-
them?
Right? Like they're
Do you think about the Sphinx?
Was this their god?
Never.
Yes. Yes, I do.
But like wow.
Crazy that is.
Well, and that's what we look at now. Like
We look
that.
at the pyramids like that.
Yeah.
We're just like,
It's the
how did
same
they
thing.
build
Well,
these?
Do you like something blew my mind? Like I remember I was like
They think paranormal built the pyramids.
I remember
No, they figured it out.
I remember I got back into like playing like the game Assassin's Creed Origins like somewhat like in the past couple like months.
No.
and I was just watching someone play it, and they were talking about it, and this guy was fascinated with like ancient Egypt and history, and he brought up the fact that in the game, which was like thousands of years ago or I can't remember exactly, but ancient Egypt is when the game takes place. The guy brought up the fact that like the time to where we are right now in 2022, when he made this video, to how far ago this game's setting is taking place, that is how old those ancient Egyptians think of the ancient pyramids.
The history of Egypt is kind of just, it eludes me sometimes because I don't look too much into it, but I am, like, Cleopatra, you know, she's cool to learn about. There is this huge misconception that she is just pure Egyptian. She's Greek.
I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know what that means for, like, their culture.
Well, wasn't she a pharaoh?
Yes, she became one of the pharaohs of Egypt because she snuck her way into one of the temples and fucked him and became a queen.
That's wild.
Man,
She snuck in.
do rule the
She
world.
snuck in through a carpet.
What do you mean?
They
she
rolled
snuck
her
in?
up in a carpet.
What?
Oh,
What?
that's wild.
She
Then
was
she this guy and became a pharaoh?
Well, she seduced him, but yes.
Oh, well, you made
yeah.
it sound like
I'm
she,
gonna
like,
have to
literally
censor
while
that.
he was sleeping.
We can't say the R word.
You can say but I can't say
Yes. Yes.
But
true.
she was also the first. She made the first ever vibrator.
What do you mean?
She made the first ever vibrator. She put a bunch of bees inside of a clay pot and shook it around to piss them off.
You want to hear something crazy, though? That Egypt also had rudimentary batteries.
What?
Yeah, there wasn't, like, batteries how we imagine them, but they had, like, rudimentary.
They also made the first toothbrushes with pig hair. Didn't the government confirm like the existence of extraterrestrials or whatever?
No.
Definitely UFOs,
Yeah, UFOs. It's not extra.
but not extra.
They're not gonna be like
unfortunately.
aliens are real.
Yeah, they're not like there's ETs out there.
I think I'm done though. I think I'm done
No time.
because I know we're running long.
What are we pulling out?
Shall we explain what's going on here?
Hello. It is my turn now.
Yes.
Once again, if you've already forgotten my name, it is Kyan. I'm sure you'll find the last one somewhere. And
You'll never know the middle.
get ready for a mood change, because when it comes to my interests and my creativity and what I focus on and don't get to share with people often is my fascination with world building in general. I love it.
You're gonna make me do like autism hands over
Dude,
here.
I love world building so fucking much. The idea of just and I know you guys were sharing your origins of how you guys kind of started with like this is your first tea, that was your first exposure to paranormal. I was trying to think if I had anything that was so like explicit in my head, and the closest thing that came to my mind when it came to world building was the first time I was interested in D&D and the first campaign I wrote, which brings me back so far because a long time ago, me and a few of the guys on Wait We're Recording, we got together and I wrote a little story about a little town named Wayward.
Oh my god.
And I remember building the elders and the noble who runs the town. He lives just up the road on this mansion on a hill by a lake. And then if you further went down that path, you'd find another city that had like slight politics. I remember like thinking like, there's definitely racism in this world.
Ooh.
And I started writing that, and I'm like, who doesn't like who and why? And I love it.
Did you come up for names like slurs?
No. I have in other adventures that you may or may not partake in.
I would say we haven't really done.
Played. Nope.
No, like we did the one episode, but that was it.
Yeah.
I just like to think you took the slurs for Native Americans and then you just used them in there.
No. I would really like to tell you guys about
What they are.
Yeah. But
can't-
unfortunately,
You should just look them up.
no,
We have.
not for Native Americans. I mean, like the slurs that I've come up with.
Oh, okay.
For my campaign, but unfortunately, it is like part of exploring the world and the story that you need to do to understand that knowledge.
I think strictly for the world building aspect, you would really enjoy the Priory of the Orange Tree book that I read, because that was like the main focus of her book. That's why it took her 3 years to write. Samantha, Sharon, I'm looking at you. Where's my second book?
Oh God.
Come on, Samantha.
Be the first guest.
Yeah, I'll make you tea. I know you're British. You'll like it.
Is this gonna
come
be
on.
out by next Tuesday?
Yes.
Oh,
Hopefully.
be the first guest. So when it comes to our cult, I am I'm the guy who will come to you with some of the lore and in-depth observations of our cult.
How do we want to do this?
I don't know.
Do we want to establish what the basis is?
You're gonna have to tackle that one, buddy.
I'm fine with that, but like, is that something we want to do?
Sure.
Like, what happens after death?
Although I would also like to bring up that in my journey for just trying to write and world build in general, it's actually kind of the reason we're all here. Me and Gavin were writing a story
Yes.
that involved the three of us, and we're actually giving up that time that we used to write for this podcast.
Enjoy it, fuckers.
That's another way this all started.
It's true.
If you want to go to what our beliefs are, feel free.
Oh, what the cult is?
Yes.
Okay, so basically what I tried to do, because I was kind of like the origin, I was the person who came up with this idea to do this.
Yes.
And I was trying to think of like, well, if we're a cult, what's our cult about? And I was just like, well, cults just prey upon the weak. And I was just like, okay.
We can't say that.
But you guys aren't weak. You guys are really strong. And
Because you're part of our cult.
Yeah, because you're ours.
Because you watch us, and we're right.
Yeah.
And everything
They're wrong.
Everything we say is right. And you will buy our merch. You will subscribe to our Patreon. And
When we inevitably get one.
and yeah, you'll partake in all of our goods, and you know that's good for you.
We'll do
For reasons we haven't
exclusive
thought of yet.
ASMR.
Because we're building a
lore.
sense of community,
Exactly.
which is important for anyone to belong. So yeah, join us. I mean, what do you have to lose?
Not your freedom.
Just your money.
And hey, it's just money.
Yeah, money isn't really anything.
Money's
if you
not
think
real.
about it.
Hey, real
We
quick,
are.
do you guys think that when people say money's the root of all evil, they refer to the idea that once currency was invented, that it gave somebody a way to quantify how much better I am than you?
Yes.
Wow.
Anyway, go on.
Okay, so like I basically just kind of thought about what would my ideal afterlife be. And I thought about
And it's the best ideal afterlife.
yeah, and you want it too because I want it, and I want your money. I want.
Can
I
we
want,
want
your
you?
your patronship
Yes, I want your patronship, and I want you to live good lives.
and die happy.
And yes, or just die.
For it's an
too.
adventure after death. Go on, Gavin.
And I basically just thought about like, okay, well, what do I really like right now? And one is a sense of adventure. I love the idea of going on adventures because the idea of mundane life, just going to work every day and just living
For money, which is evil.
Yes, for
Which you
money.
should give to us so we can purify it.
Exactly.
Just kind of getting stuck in a dead end job and that being the rest of your life is something that scares me, and that's why I get drawn to adventure. But also what well, okay, and that's where it leads to. So like the idea
I'll
of our
trade
cult
tea for
is
merch.
why we like drink tea and why we consume tea is because it's kind of us like partaking in something that's like nature, and it's to represent like our mortal life here on
Yes.
Earth, or
Our journey.
our journey, our mortal life, our mortal journey. It's a great way
Such
to put
as the tea leaves become the tea.
The tea becomes
Yes.
one with us.
it. Yes, see, this is great. I love this fucking talk. So that's kind of the idea around the tea. But then what happens after the mortal life? And I was thinking about that. And I was like, well, my kind of ideal afterlife for a long time has kind of just been to be this like form of energy that just travels the cosmos, to just like experience or just to travel, just to adventure, to see what's out there. What?
With your soulmate.
Yes, with your soulmate, because I didn't want to do it alone, because I was like, well, that would be boring.
Yeah, no one wants. Listen, that's why we're building a strong sense of community here, because no one wants to be alone.
You will find your soulmate through all of us.
I was basically just like, who am I going to tell his dick jokes to if I'm by myself in the cosmos? I'll get bored. So I was like...
You see that star? That one looks like a penis.
If you just squint your eyes...
I opened our first ever podcast together with fucking dick facts.
That's fine.
That's awesome.
It's good. That means Way We're Recording is still with us. And... I was just like, okay, well, yeah, like, and I specifically was like, well, it should be your soulmate, because I was thinking, like, well, there's people out there who get in, like, really bad relationships and then just live in that for the rest of their life. And I was like, but after that, I want them to enjoy this experience. Completely. And because of that, I want it to be the soulmate, because even if you're in a bad relationship at this moment and you're worried about, or if you're in love with like this person on your mortal existence right now and you don't want to leave that person, it's not going to matter after you die, because the feeling you're going to have with this other soul out there is pure bliss, and it's going to feel like nothing you've ever felt before.
And sorry, but like, is it a mutual thing?
Yes, they're meant for each other, soulmates.
Fascinating.
And
I love that.
And this kind of like gets into lore ideas I've had that I kind of want to talk about, but I don't know if I should talk about it here.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I'll work it in.
Group chat.
But so yeah, that and well, I was like, well, an adventure has to have like an end goal, a destination.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm it's kind of like the idea that the universe is infinite, but I was just like, well, what if we flipped it on its head? It's like, well, what if the universe has an actual end goal? Like, what if we think the universe is infinite, but once we die and we leave our mortal plane, like, we just know that, like, there's an end out there, and we're
It
in
allows
search
us
of
to
it.
find the end.
Yes. And you just explore the fucking cosmos trying to find that. And what it is something that we can't really comprehend at this moment, but we just know it's...
Because we're still on the mortal plane.
Exactly. We're stupid. It's like, think of Lovecraft shit. We can't comprehend how good it is, but we know it's going to be fucking good.
Do you think your preferred ideal of the afterlife kind of drives your paranormal side of you just a little bit?
Yes.
Your fascination?
Yeah, without that. Because I thought about, like, what if ghosts are people that never left the earth?
Yeah.
They just decided to roam here instead of exploring further.
Maybe they didn't even decide. I mean, they just got stuck somehow. Right? See, these are questions I've been thinking of.
I know.
That's kind of the base establishment of what this cult's ideology is. Kyan, you want to continue from here?
It's kind of hard for me to continue from here because I know I said I'm like the lore guy, but what it comes down to is I am
a bookkeeper.
I am more of a story keeper, where I find these, or I write these stories. They come to me from the other side.
Yes.
They come to me from the other side, and
you're like a psychic of some kind.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna use the term psychic
I'm so
because
tempted.
psychics are bullshit.
Yeah, psychics are campy and bullshit.
I'm so tempted to buy you a leather-bound journal to write this stuff in.
I have a journal to write this stuff in, but typically I just write at work, which is terrible. But one of these little lore stories I have for you today
Our documents, if you will.
I'm so fucking excited for this.
is more on the horrific side of the cult.
Okay.
And unfortunately, with every good comes a bad. And as such, with all the good that we try to spread with our podcast by purifying your evil money, we unfortunately have some that is still bad. Also, on record, I will say I will never proofread any of my stories, so if I misspeak or when I'm reading, I am not sorry.
You know what you signed up for.
Honestly, can we take a pause real quick? All right. Perfect. And then, in the perfect world, oh fuck!
Yes.
Okay.
I almost want you to turn down the lights. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Eyes. I woke up and there they were. The eyes. Not physically watching me, but always in my head. Every time I blink, sneeze, yawn, anything, I couldn't escape. The massive, almost perfectly circle ruby red eyes that seemed to haunt my consciousness. At first I was curious. I thought I was just seeing things, that I was tired, or maybe I was just staring at the light for too long. Then I stared back. In an instant, my thoughts were flooded with, they're watching. They're watching. They're watching! My only escape was to open my eyes and try not to think about it. This made sleep an arduous task. To put it simply, I really couldn't anymore. I laid down, and as my eyes would fall shut, I would see them. And the thoughts would overwhelm my own. He's watching. Who is? Who's watching and why? Why are they why can't they just stop watching me and leave me alone? I think they've gotten bigger. No, I know they've gotten bigger. When I first stared back, they were small. There were 2 dots in the corner of my vision. Now they took up half of it. I've only been getting 4 hours of sleep. Anything more and the thoughts become too loud and overwhelming. I think people are starting to notice. I don't blame them. It's getting increasingly difficult to appear normal. I've just started staying home. But I've grown concerned whoever is watching is getting closer. Not only are the eyes bigger than they've ever been, but the thoughts are louder than ever too. My sleep hasn't gotten any better either. I'm down to an hour. Although sometimes I don't even get that. I just wanted to stop. I want whoever they are to leave me alone. It's so loud. It's so loud I almost can't think, it's so loud. They're watching. I just want to sleep, but I can't. They're watching. Those damned eyes, I can't escape them. They're watching. They're watching. They're watching. That's it.
What was that?
You're like possessed for a moment.
So you can turn up the lights if you want. I don't know.
No, this is. I like this.
Perfect. So the eyes.
The eyes.
And I misspoke because when I was going back and thinking about this story, I thought it'd be more powerful if it was they're watching instead of he's watching.
Okay.
At one point, I said he's watching, I think, but the idea that something's staring back
It's like the
is
void.
fascinating.
Who is this person?
I don't know, if I'm being honest.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Is it a
'cause-
soul?
Yeah,
It's a soul.
it's a soul.
Okay.
I think it's someone on the mortal realm. Someone.
They're on the mortal realm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
So they haven't died yet.
no.
Okay.
I think they're being tortured in the mortal realm
By what?
by the eyes, Kevin.
What are the eyes?
By knowing.
Do you want an honest answer in how I was viewing the story, or would you prefer a lore answer?
Lore.
A lore answer?
Yeah. You could do both if you want.
Well, when I think about like writing the story, the reason I changed he to they is the idea that maybe this person's just crazy,
Okay.
and they becomes the people of the outside world watching them. So they're just spiraling, and they're seeing people around them look at them like they are crazy. It's very only really hinted at in the 3rd paragraph I read here. I don't know how much you want me to dissect this segment.
Like people are starting to notice.
Yeah, but people like it's becoming increasingly difficult to appear normal. It's the idea that this person might be doing it to themselves,
Okay.
which is just a scary concept. This is really just a writing idea I had in my car one morning. I decided to explore.
Okay.
But if we're trying to tie it into the lore,
Yeah, yeah. And you don't have to spill all your everything.
Uh-huh.
Again, if you want to like keep things secretive, that's fine. I love that.
let's just say they is a negative entity.
It's a negative entity. Okay.
And
And it preys upon the mortal.
It preys upon the mortal.
What if
It can't be touched by the afterlife.
It can't. Okay.
No. Only the mortals can.
Okay.
does that induce the idea that it is the afterlife, even though we view it as a positive place?
Well, once the afterlife is embraced, there's no reason to think about it in a way such as the
Evil.
eyes, the evil eyes. The outside eyes.
Do you think after you die, the eyes become like, say, the heart or something? Or like,
Well, I think those who are actively being tortured in the mortal realm are prevented from enjoying the afterlife that we so strive for.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. I'm so excited to find out what this is. Like, you have no idea. Oh my god. The eyes.
The eyes.
I love that you're just keeping it a secret though. Like it's just the eyes.
that's our merch right there. The
The
eyes.
eyes.
They're watching.
They're watching. Oh my god. You have no idea how fucking hype I get about this shit. I want to tell you all the ideas I had, but like I don't want to do it here.
I understand. But the eyes, they're watching. They drove this unfortunate soul to insanity, to a point where they're beyond what they were.
I just have so many questions now that I don't even think you should answer right now, but it's just like, what happens to this person now in the mortal realm? What happens after they die? What is their afterlife like?
They become the paranormal.
Perhaps. I don't know. That's for him to decide.
The eyes.
The eyes.
The eyes.
I very much enjoyed writing this story. I've never really tried anything like horror-esque.
Yeah.
Like this is like very different from what I'm used to writing.
I was surprised it was a journal entry, like, or first person. I
I
was
think
not expecting that.
I enjoy that. I feel like it adds the layer of, like, say we weren't the beginnings of this cult. It's someone that we're following.
well, and if you understand it the way I get these messages, it's always
It
in the
makes
first
sense.
person.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like I mean, very rarely have I received anything that is from a multiple person point of view.
Right. I'm just so fascinated to, like, since like we know like another thing that is going to happen in this lore. I'm fascinated to see how you write that in the first person perspective.
Isn't it interesting?
It almost makes you like a split soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I view it more as these souls reach out to me. Like I go looking, but they find me. Which is
You
a
had an
very
idea?
important line to remember. You can go looking, but it's them who find you.
Just like how we found you.
Hi.
Hola.
What are we again? The
One moment. The
Spectruminal
Spectruminal Trinity.
The Spectruminal
Trinity.
This is where
We should chant the
should we
eyes
end
one of the
things here?
times.
Do we have
Yeah.
anything else to say?
I'm cool.
All right, yeah. I very much enjoy. That's a great cold open, like the lore of this world. I love that.
Yeah, I had a longer story, but
We're running very long here.
yeah. So I chose the shorter one today.
Don't worry, we'll find you next time.
Oh yeah. We'll find you next time.
All right, we have the way we have to close out is we have to like say Spectruminal Trinity at the same time or like something like that. How are we gonna do it?
Well, first, and again, you
Well-
can cut this, but I really like the idea of we'll find you next time.
The Spectruminal Trinity.
We should. The eyes are
you
watching.
next
We'll
time.
find you next time.
Well, that could be like this in the outro,
Yeah,
and I think
like
it's
the
really cool.
eyes
I
if
think we
like,
should tie it in with the story each episode.
Yeah, that's
pretty-
I think
pretty
that's really
fucking
good,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I also like the sign off of "We'll find you next time." That's
Find you
I
next time.
really that's
Well,
really
we could
good.
do like the tagline that goes with your story, and then we'll find you next time for each episode.
All right. Thank you for watching, and remember, the eyes will always find you.
Just like how we found you.
And we've been
The
Spectruminal
Spectruminal Trinity.